You alright?
I want to see Paris. I want to see everything.
It's up to you now. There's no one...
Wait, what is that? 40 north by 74 west. That's not Paris, that's New York.
How did you know that?
One thing I had in that tower was time, Mr. DeWitt. Time to study things like geography.
I owed money. And there's a fellow who... He offered to wipe away my debt in exchange for you. Come on, Eddie. Come on, Eddie. Everything's gonna be okay. Will you just turn around and talk to me and we can...
What's going on, guys? So today I'm very excited to bring this full review of Bioshock Infinite, and it's man, I just can't wait to get started. And you know what, I'm just gonna get started right now. So I have these few sections of my review, the story, the graphics, the sound, the soundtrack, the controls, what do I like about it, what I dislike about it, and the replay value, and of course my rating. So I'm very excited about this game, and to do my full review I'll show you what I like about it. And so let's get started. So Bioshock on Irrational Games, and this is their third, I believe it's the third from their Bioshock franchise. And so the first, they kind of, they switched from the whole underground and now underwater city underwater city to a city in the sky named Columbia. And so they kind of switched to that, and basically, yeah, that's basically what they did. Anyways, so instead of like the whole 1960s, 1970s era, this is now in the early United States era, which is 1912s, and so they switched from that, and the story goes that you play the main protagonist, which is called, what's his name? His name is Booker DeWitt. No, not Booker T. Not the 5-time champ. Now, Booker DeWitt, that's the first thing that popped in my head, by the way. Booker DeWitt, he gets summoned to Columbia to rescue a woman named Elizabeth. She's been captive in a tower, and being protected by this bird, this giant ass bird called Songbird. You got to go rescue him. You deal with other stuff, and you learn about the environment. What's really going on in Colombia, what the good and the bad, and it's just all crazy stuff like that. And the storyline, man, what a story! I gotta hand it to them, to the developers who are coming up with a story like this. And a lot of stuff reflects on what happens in the, a lot of racism, a lot of religious stuff that happened, kind of like almost happened in the early history of the United States. And they kind of like took that and they put it on Colombia, because Colombia is supposed to be like this whole utopia where that's the place where you want to live. The whole sun, there's even beaches in there. I don't know how they did it, but there's all this amazing stuff. But then you learn as you play along at the game that there's sacrifices for that utopia. There's like the poor, there's what Daisy calls it, the common folk. There's racism. If you're like African American, you're basically below the white or the pure white man or whatever. And if you're like an Irish, or if you're like an immigrant or whatever, like you're below the pure white man again. It's stuff like that. And there's only a single religion over there, and that's the one with Comstock right there. He's the main antagonist. And as you're going on through the story, you figure out the truth of everything, the whole Columbia, about Elizabeth, and it's just like whoa, what's going on? You go through one stage to another, and then when you get to the end, it all reveals itself, and then you make up it all. You start coming up with your theories. You look online, trying to like figure out like with other people, like, hey, what happened in the end? Stuff like that. And it's just like, whoa, it makes you think, like all these possibilities like in the game. Like if I do this, this might happen. If I do this, this might happen. What if I don't do this? You know, this happens and like that. And it's just like a whole cluster, you know, thing, cluster F, and it's just pretty crazy, the whole storyline. And you know, there's a lot of theories over the ending and like that. And that's just how, you know, I guess the Bioshock is Infinite. And it's just, anyways, it's a pretty good story. It's a great story that I really liked it. I really enjoyed playing it. Anyways, moving on. The graphics, you know, they're pretty great graphics. You know, I love the whole environment, like the whole, you know, especially like when the sun's coming up and you're playing the game, the sun's coming down, the sunset, the warm colors, like the whole environment. You know, the characters look sharp. You know, very almost cartoonish way, but very sharp. And, you know, and it's a really, you know, it's a really great graphics. I just want to talk to you. Now moving on towards the sound and the soundtrack, you know, I gotta say, you know, being in the 1912 era, you're gonna see a lot of that kind of music right there. So, and it really fits well in the environment. You know, the whole 1912s. I'm not angry with you. Is it 1912s? Anyways, early back then, the whole music and everything, and it really fits well with the game. You know, of course, they're not gonna put like modern day music on 1912s and stuff like that. And it's just how it is. But if you know, I enjoyed it. You know, and I enjoy that. I enjoy the music, you know, as well. But if you're that type of person that's like, nah, this music sucks and like stuff like that, then you're not gonna like the music, you know. But the sound is pretty great. You know, the voice acting is phenomenal. The whole, the characters, the whole how they talk, how they act, how they dress up and everything, how they like the slang back, you know, stuff like that. You know, that really brings out the whole sound of the game. The whole like it makes the game overall better, in my opinion. Now, moving on towards the, what was it? Oh, fuck. I've been doing this for quite a bit and I forgot it. Anyways, the controls. The controls are simple, but I didn't like. Well, this is a preview of my dislikes. They're simple, you know, FPS, you know, first-person shooter controls. You know, L1. Well, actually, it wasn't L1. I think it was R3 on default R3 shoot. Well, basically, the controls are simple. They're just pretty much common with the FPS first-person shooter games. So if you play first-person shooters, then it should be pretty easy to figure out how to do this and that. You know, I'll let you know what I like about this game. I'm gonna let you know. So what I like about this game? Well, first off, I love the smooth combat mechanics. This game is smooth, like man. Like the whole between aiming down sights, ADSing, changing weapons, reloading, it's smooth as it gets, and I really enjoy that. You know, the whole, because I know I play some games, I play some dedicated FPS games like first-person shooter games. You know, I play the whole Call of Duty, the whole Battlefield, you know, stuff like that. You know, but the thing is, in order to enjoy it, you gotta get some of the, you know, the small things. The small things are what makes it good. You know, the whole reloading mechanics, the whole aiming down sights, stuff like that. I don't want it to be choppy. You know, like you understand. Kind of like Battlefield 3 in a way. That's kind of like choppy. Isn't as smooth as at least on the console compared to the PC. But this right here, Bioshock, it's smooth between throwing grenades or using their little powers and everything like that. It's smooth, and that's what I really like about this game. I also liked about the game is the graphics. I also like about the whole, it's a more open environment in contrast to the previous Bioshocks. You know, because you're underwater city, you're limited towards the tunnels and everything like that, or the small environments. You're not allowed to move along. In this game, you also have it's more open. Like you could take the rails, you go, what is it, roller coaster rails? rails, what I like to call them, and then you could shoot, you could jump, you could move place to place. You're not limited towards your environment. You can actually move to place. You know, you go high ground, you could go low ground, and stuff like that, which in my opinion I really liked. You know, compared to the previous Bioshocks. Also, the characters are really like, you know, the voice actors and actresses, voice actors in general. They really did a great job bringing the characters to life. I really like how they brought, how they really did the whole, what do you call it? The characters are like, I like how Elizabeth is. She's been stuck in a tower for her whole life, but yet she's a smart ass. You know, she does this, she'll say this. You know, she gets angry. I like how Booker the Witch, like, I don't give a rat's ass. You know, I'm an alcoholic. I'm a, you know, dumb beat ass detective or private eye, whatever. But you know, his attitude is really funny. Well, at least in my opinion, it's like, I don't really care. Just do this. Or like, hey, you listen to me. There's stuff like that. You know, but like how the like other characters, you know, especially how Comstock is, you know, he's really that one character, like the religious character, like what he likes to call himself, the prophet, like the Monopoly guy. What was it, Mr. Tink? Yeah, he's all like, I'm rich, I get what I want, I do this and that, you know, stuff like that. The characters really bring out the whole game in general. What I also like about was the incredible storyline, which I already talked about. It's really great, you know. But the main thing, now this is the icing on the cake. The main thing that I like about is Elizabeth when she's traveling. Now this game features, like, you know, the like what do you call it? I guess I forgot the term. Anyways, we have to bring someone along. You have to take them to one place to another, and like it's a hassle. Like, oh, what if they die? Like, you know, game over. Reload from the last checkpoint. It's stuff like that. Not in this game. Elizabeth can take care of herself, and that's to tell you that in the game. She can take care of herself. If she doesn't get damaged, you know, she hides, she covers. Not only that, but she also helps you out. She gives you ammo for whatever gun you have, you know, your low on ammo. She's like, hey, I got some ammo. She finds a gun, she throws it at you. That is freaking awesome. She also finds you health. She also finds you salts, which is to recover your I guess, magic, whatever. And you know, that's freaking awesome. Not only that, she also helps you out with money. Man, how about like I'm low on money? She's like, here, I found some money. Great. Oh, the way they did it is really fantastic. That was icing on the cake. That was sold. Oh, I was like, oh, that's a done deal right there. Not only that, she helps you out with the combat, with her, you know, opening up tears. Like, oh, here's a turret right here. Here's a own enemy right here. And it's just really great how they really did Elizabeth. Like, she's just another character. She hides over here. She might get killed if you're not very protective. Nah, she takes care of herself. She helps you out, and that really, to me, was icing on the cake. Now, there's not a lot of things that I like about this game. I really can't really think of anything right now. But you know, there's one thing I didn't like is guiding you towards the objective, you know? Instead of like the previous Bioshocks, like the first one, it tells you, find this area. You know, they give you a map. Now you have to be like, oh, I gotta make a left here, I gotta go this. Now in this game, they don't, only in one part of the game they do that. Like, oh, here's a map, find it. Doesn't tell you like where to go. But the rest, they tell you where to go. It's basically like a rail on shooter game or something like that. And I really didn't like that. I was like, oh, well, like they're basically baby, you know, hand walking or whatever that was called, stuff like that. But other than that, that's pretty much anything. That's the only thing I don't like about this game. But I digress. And I was like, whatever. It's a small thing though. It's a small thing that little bugs me right there. Now the last section of the game, my review is the replay value and the rating. Honestly, it's the replay. You're gonna be, unless you're like I keep saying, unless you're a trophy hunter, you're gonna keep going back in the game till you get all those trophies, or if you're like one of those persons, like, you know, I play once and I never look at it again. But other than that, this game, you know, it's gonna be moderate, medium. You're not gonna keep going back and playing it for the non-trophy hunters. You're gonna be like, maybe you'll play it again, be like, oh, I'm gonna play it in a more difficult situation, like stuff like that.
Why?
Or you might not. But that's why I keep it medium. So you might be like, yeah, I'll play it more. Nah, fuck this good. But my rating, I give this game, you know, of course, like 2 giant thumbs up. Thumbs up. Yeah, thumbs. I'm like, wait, let's see what's giant 2 thumbs up and a 10 out of 10. I really love this game. It's really fantastic. But like, you know, the pros significantly weigh out the cons. Well, for me, in my opinion, like the small little arrow. But if you really, it doesn't bug you, I don't really see any dislikes about this game. Other than that, it's not really horror-ish, but I'm fine with that. But other than that, man, what a game! Like, especially the story and the ending. Like, whoa, what's going on? Like this and that. I knew it, or like, whoa, I didn't see that coming at all. But other than that, it's a really fantastic game that I highly recommend you guys playing it. And even if you just rent it, whatever, just borrow from your friends or whatever, just do that. Try to play this game. The campaign is really incredible, and that's all I gotta say. And also, Elizabeth is really icing on the cake. It's really fantastic. The whole AI was there. Anyways, that's it for my full review of Bioshock Infinite. And they, you know, if you play the campaign, they'll explain why it has Infinite in it, not some other stuff like that. And I hope you enjoyed this game. Now, if you have played this game, let me know in the comments. You know, let me know, yeah, this game is awesome, but I don't agree with you with some of this and that. I like this. Or if you never play the game, you're like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna try this game out. It's gonna be pretty cool. Thanks for the recommendation. Anyways, that's it for me, guys, and I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys down the road.